What's up guys, welcome to today's video. If you can't already tell by the title of the video, today we're fixing everything wrong with my 1990 Mazda Miata. First off, it's leaking oil, so we're gonna drop the transmission, we're gonna drop the drive shaft, drop the power plant frame so that we can get to that rear main seal. During that fire that I had with my RX-8, it actually melted one of the battery harness that goes along the power plant frame, so we're gonna replace that. I also have to replace the power steering boots because on both sides they're ripped. And I also have a manifold with a downpipe to put on so that I can get this thing to pass smog, because I actually also bought a cat for it. So time to get started. So the first thing to do, or what would be the first thing to do, I actually kind of already got started, but I took off all these bolts that connect the transmission to the engine. As you can see here, it's leaking oil. These bolts are 17 all the way around, and then there's 2 bolts for the slave cylinder. I believe they're either 10 or 12 mils. And then there's a starter that goes up there, and those are 14. But once you get all those bolts out, this thing's all good to go. And then it has the power plant frame holding it with 17s, which I also took off already. There. That's 2, 3, and then 2 right here. And then you have to knock out this spacer that goes in there. So I already did all that. Already did remove this line out of the way. This is what melted, and we're gonna replace that. The drive shaft bolts. I actually don't have the original bolts in this thing. This drive shaft actually snapped, or the bolts came out, and it smacked my gas tank. So I replaced the bolts with, mine are 13s, and there's 4 of those. So gotta get those off to get the drive shaft off. And then I already took off the exhaust. I can't say that word. I always say it funny. But that one. So for whatever reason, the previous owner welded a bad cat, or at least it's now bad, onto this pipe. So I had to buy a new one with the. Thankfully, this one was only like 20 bucks. Miata parts are super cheap, and it came with the manifold, the downpipe, and this cat delete pipe that I can easily replace now that I'm not using this one. So the next step would be to drop the power plant frame and the drive shaft, and then I can pull the trans and then do the clutch and the pressure plate. That's what it's called. Good thing I have a lift in my garage, so it makes everything easy. I don't have to work on the back or on the floor. Next step is to start taking things apart. Alright, so I got the power plant frame off. This is what it looks like outside of the car. That's hot. So the transmission goes on this side, and the drive shaft, or the diff, goes here. When you're taking this off, it actually has 2 nuts that go here that I forgot about, but I ended up being able to pop it out anyway. So that is the whole power plant frame, and the drive shaft is out too. The next step would be to drop the transmission, and little tip for doing this: if you want to get some weight out, drain out the fluid, because last time I did this, I didn't drain out the fluid. I kind of just had help with my dad. We pushed it up, pulled it in, and the fluid ended up spilling out the tail end, so I didn't want that to happen again. And if you do try to drain it out, make sure the fill plug, you can crack it open, because if you do just the drain plug, you might not be able to. Well, at least on the Miata you can, but on some cars you might not be able to refill it if you don't check if the fill plug comes out or not. So I already did that, ready to drain the fluid. Next step is to just drop the trans and get to that flywheel. This is probably going to be a bad idea, but I'm going to see if I can try to lift this transmission out by myself. This is going to hurt. Oh well. This is the thing that we're trying to fix today, because that just looks horrible. And I'm pretty sure, or at least I'm hoping, it's not the oil pan, even though this whole motor is all filthy. So, I mean, either way, it's worth finding out anyway. So hopefully we figure this out. So my speedometer cable got kind of cinched, and I had to cut this because it was melted. This is the old one. Actually got a new one for 10, well, not a new one, but I got a replacement one for 10 bucks. Cheap. And I just bought this sensor and it's melted. You see, it's stuck right here. And I don't know what sensor this is, but I will figure it out. So yeah, there's that. And now the dreaded part of trying to pull this transmission. Hopefully I can handle it. I have no idea. Okay, so I decided not to do it myself because I got scared. It seems pretty heavy and I'm not that tall. And I don't really like moving the lift up and down because it's actually at a good spot, so. And it's just gonna take more work, so. I just called my dad to help me. Alright, we got the trans off. This is what it looks like so far. I gotta take 14 bolts, the 14mm bolts off. I can pull off the whole thing. Good thing I still saved my clutch alignment tool for this car. But yeah, there's for the transmission, take it off, it's 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, 17, and then there's 14, 14, 14, 17. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you, handsome man. Easy, huh? Huh? Because I'm pointing at things. Rue, you gonna help me?
No shit, I just want to sleep.
Bam. All right. I got it. Woo! That was scary. So I got the old one out. All I did was stick a flathead in there and pry it off. So now, I'm just gonna clean this up. I have the new one somewhere over there in my box of stuff. Another thing that I gotta fix before I put the trans and everything back together is I kind of broke the e-brake pulling up the e-handle too hard, so I gotta replace that. But let me show you guys what I have so that I can put this in. Made it. And this thing goes in a specific way, so this inside goes like that. Got some grease, because I gotta grease this up. And I actually bought this off eBay, but they sent me the wrong size, but it should still do the same thing. I mean, the holes line up and everything, so. That, got some gaskets. I cleaned it already. We should be good to put that in. So let me put the camera down and start working. So now the seal is all in, greased up, flat. I can go on. I can technically put the transmission back, but I'm gonna handle this. And we are almost done fixing everything with the Miata.